Hello Internet, welcome to the Pin Line. My name is Jesse. On this channel I explore the rich history of Magic the Gathering art. Last time we looked at the Secrets of Strixhaven art direction. Very cool, check out this video on my channel. Today we're doing something different again. We're looking at the Secret Lair collaboration with Global Fund for Women. A print to demand, which has been a while. Secret Lair containing 7 cards, all featuring women with art drawn by women. It looks pretty cool and I thought, you know, maybe good to do a first impressions. I think it contains some very high-end art and illustrations, so I think cool to do a first reaction, go through and see what makes these pieces great. So without further ado, let's dive in. As I said, there's 7 total cards, so let's go through them one by one. Wizards created an article to go with this announcement, and in it they also shared some sketches and some concept art for each of these cards, so that's cool. We can take a look at those and see how they compare and what the choices they were made for the final art. Let's start with Dark Ritual. As you can see, we have a very modern looking illustration. They didn't go for fantasy realism or something like that for this Secret Lair, but more for an illustrated look and feel, graphic novel like look and feel. This is just a very cool image, right? It just looks epic, just looks metal. Liliana casting a Dark Ritual spell here with all the skulls and the women helping her. I would say very cool looking piece. Yeah, not more to say. It's just a very cool piece. I think it would look amazing in any commander deck or any deck for that matter. I think from an art perspective, not really interesting. It's just a very cool image. It can go on the cover of a comic book or something like that. I really like what they did with the framing here. They do that more often, I guess, but here you can see the element, the skull aligning over the text here. Not aligning or going over the text here, which is, I think, just a fun little tweak that they made. So very cool. They also shared a sketch here, and I think there was just one sketch, I guess. Might have immediately hit the mark here with this sketch, and the art director said, let's go with this. This is amazing. Make this final. And she did. So yeah, very good work, solid, cool card. Really like how it's applied. Good work. Next up is Cultivate, classic sorcery. Goes well in any green deck. So this Cultivate is a bit more painterly, but still a very high-end illustration. I see sort of Japanese-inspired vegetables, very cutesy. But yeah, I think really fitting of the scene here. This woman tending to, her vegetables in her vegetable garden. Just lovely, super nice coloring with the purple and the yellows here and the green. So it's very vibrant. It's just a very cozy scene overall. Just lovely, fun. The sketches she shared. This is done by Ivy Dolamore. The sketches that she shared showed a couple of different perspectives she explored. So here it's a bit more from the side, a bit less defined on what you will see in the image. And then the next one is a bit more like the final version, where you have more of this bank with greens, and you have the vegetables living here and walking over her, a bit more water and a bit more background. So I think this was probably directed by the art director to say, hey, give me a bit more definition, show a bit more of the world around her. That's what she did, very nicely applied. So it gives image some depth, right? You see the fields in the background here, and then on the front and center, obviously the scene happening here. But that's a very nice composition, giving you a feeling of, hey, this is a living, breathing world. All kinds of nice, fun little guys living here in the grass and in the plant pots here. So yeah, this is just a cozy vibe, very sweet card. Next up is a different scene altogether. Very painterly look for this finale of Devastation. This one is done by Julie Dillon. A bit more action-packed. A bit more action-oriented. I really like the composition here with sort of this spell casting happening while she's holding her in her arms, casting these, summoning these beasts to crash into the enemy, defending them from the enemy. Very cool gesture. I really like, the composition again, and the graphical look and feel, just very, very, very strongly done. So here the line here in the middle, obviously directing your gaze to the front. here's an interesting detail where you see the hand, is there something happening here with her arm? Maybe it's hurt. So there's a bit of storytelling happening here. Yeah, and this is all very flowing very nicely from left to right. Good composition to draw your eyes to the center, and then outwards you see all these animal summons happening. So the storytelling is on point here. In the sketches, a couple of different compositions, different poses, so and also different creatures were suggested. For instance, here these birds, we see these wolves and these lions. The pose here is different, right? She's more holding her in her arm. It's a bit more slumped, dragging her across the field, whereas in the other options, this is probably more akin to what the final version is. Yeah, it's a bit stronger, a bit more strength, and you see the strength of this woman carrying her with ease. This is more of a protective spell, I would say, with more of a bird-like elements here. These birds would go over the text box, so yeah, probably not as strong, and you miss a bit of the dynamic nature of all these other creatures coming in. This is more balanced overall, a bit more breathing room to work with, so I guess they went with B, and I think that makes the most sense. And you see it in the final version, right? It's very action-packed, but also still not too busy on the right side, so there's a bit of breathing room here to work with. Then we go to the Lateral Blade of Elves by one of the greatest, Magali Villeneuve. She's an amazing artist. As always, she does amazing work. Again, she does it here. Interesting choice of sort of an outline graphical look with a schematic background. Very cool composition. These two women training, Lateral and her daughter maybe, training to fight. In the background you see a bit more detail of where they are, right, in this forest type scene. We have a little doggy here. You see that in the sketches as well. And yeah, again, breaking the frame here very nicely with these sort of elements here and here. Composition guides your eye immediately front and center, and then towards the swords, and then you can start exploring the rest of the image easily. So well done in terms of depth. Foreground and then the background really nicely separated, and that is helped by the outline. Yeah, it's a bit different than the other ones in that sense. Here's another sketch. They didn't share a lot more than this, but here the dog is also watching the camera. I really like this, but I understand why they went with the dog looking that way, because that just guides your eye in a better way, right? The women here are also looking to the right and pointing their swords to the right. So I think it makes sense for the dog to do the same thing and also not detract the eye from the center image. Overall, yeah, amazing looking card, really cool. This is obviously a fan favorite card. It's also used a lot in Commander, and you would definitely be happy to put this as your commander in the command zone. Then coat of arms, and here we have a different concept for this coat of arms. Obviously it's an artifact, so the artifact here is front and center in the middle, but the women is also very important here, and that's a great composition, right? You see the artifact, that you see this amazing shield with this sort of radiating power, and then this super cool stance of the women here and the women in the background here, ready to fight. So yeah, again, great composition, very cool effects on the shield. Puts the coat of arms in the center and expands the story here, really fitting the card design overall, I would say, with this army in the background. Looking at the sketches, there was shared a lot of options here. Especially this one here is interesting. If you would draw a coat of arms and this card, you would think I need to put the artifact in the middle like this. So that makes a lot of sense, but then yeah, the women is below it, and I think this is a bit too tight in terms of the framing here. So I understand why they went with a different route. Eventually, I guess they ended up somewhere here. So I think these two are probably the same image. Yeah. Yeah, this is a bit of a different idea, concept altogether. Also very cool looking, but I think from a composition perspective and in relation to the card text boxes, it makes more sense to go with this route. And then here's a couple of options, A, B, and C, to showcase, hey, what can we do with this sort of radiating effect and the magical effect of the artifact. And this option, there's a bit more focus on the jewel in the middle. So you would almost think that the jewel in the center of the shield is the artifact that it's all about. So I don't think that's the story here. So I think this one was understandably cut in that from that perspective. This B version has a bit more of a sort of circular spinning effect, but I don't think that it looks really cool, but I don't think it makes a lot of sense because this, shield is not spinning, I would say. Also really like the colors. You see a sort of, this is a battlefield, right? There is sort of this golden hour vibe to it. Dark clouds above it. So very cool scene. You feel the vibe. Next up is Sol Ring. A classic card, obviously. We have a classic Sol Ring shape, but with a sort of new and novel application with Brea and Sahili both conjuring up this Sol Ring, very moodily coloring, still harnessing some of this light idea of the Sol Ring, where the original Sol Ring, but in a different way, interesting and newly applied. But it still keeps it immediately recognizable. Again, breaking out of the frame here and here. So nicely done, really gives it a bit of dynamic feeling. The composition is guided nicely. You're drawn obviously to the center, and then you immediately see the faces here and here. And then you can explore more of it. Brea on the right could be a bit more clearer, but she needs to be in the back of this, in the background. But this is, if you don't know her, you think, oh, what is this element here? And this is sort of how she looks, right? She has this Ethereum body almost, not really a human shape. And if you don't know this character, you wouldn't really understand that. But that's just a minor gripe, and also something you might learn later. If you look at the sketches, different composition here in A, so a bit more flat light. I think this is what they went with eventually, or they went more with the A direction than with the B direction. The B direction is more introducing this bright pink smoke, which is more of the Sahili side, and the Ethereum metal parts, and combining those into the Sol Ring. And I think it's just a bit too, from a color perspective, I don't really think it hits the mark, but also it's also a bit too busy, and it's not really combining their magic together story-wise and storytelling-wise. This version is on point here, and I think the right choice. So again, very good work here by Olina Richards and the art director. Then Path of Ancestry. Again, very illustrative. This is the final card of the bunch. Really like the composition, these women, warriors, statues watching over this path. It is a path, so that makes sense. The colors are very nice, sweet feeling. You see these statues towering over the path and these women, and then it's smartly added some birds here flying, give it a bit of depth and perspective, so you get the sense of scale. If you look at the sketches, there's a lot of experimentation here, more than some of the other cards. And I think it's really nice because this probably gives the art director a lot of choice. It gives us also something to talk about. There's not just one single composition, right, that's proposed with some minor tweaks, but really different choices to be made here. I think A is understandably the weakest because I think it's not really, it detracts a bit from this idea of a path, puts these character also in sort of this statue paddock or something. And these statues are not as big, right? They just the sense of scale can be improved. I think the path is somewhat there, but not really. So I think it's understandable that they didn't went with this one. I really like B as well as an option, but it gives it a bit more of a flat 2D look. But also, it can tell you a lot. It's by like this sort of row of women warriors with all kinds of different stories for each of them. Very clear. Understandably, they went with more of a 3D perspective, and I think C is that option. Really makes the most sense, and I think composition-wise, this is the best option. Overall, very good, lovely looking card. Again, very cozy. So overall thoughts, on point flavor-wise, on point in terms of storytelling. I think it really hits the mark of what this Secret Lair is trying to do. I really also like the amount of cards that they put into this Secret Lair. To me, 4 or 5 always feels a bit light to me. I think 7 is a great magical number, so I hope Wizards of the Coast does this more often. So this was my first impressions. What do you think? Will you be ordering this Secret Lair? If you are, Orders can be placed from the 20th of July until August 3. 50% of all proceeds will go to Global Fund for Women. Again, it's a print to demand run, so you don't have to stand in line. You can just go online on the 20th or the 21st if you want and order this. Yeah, let me know if you will, and I'm looking forward to it as well. That's it for this episode. If you have any suggestion for a card or anything else you want me to look at, please leave your feedback in the comments or hit me up on Instagram. Much appreciated. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a thumbs up. And if you want to watch more of my videos, please consider subscribing. I hope to see you next time and have a great day. Cheers.